Hello brothers and sisters, let's get into the verse of the video. And today's verse comes from the book of Proverbs chapter 13 verse 20, and it reads, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm." Alright, today's video is going to be about bike anatomy spoken from a beginner. And just to let you know, any of you that are interested in getting into mountain biking or purchasing a mountain bike, to not be overwhelmed. I had zero knowledge about mountain biking whatsoever. Not that I have a lot now, but I have more than when I started. Obviously, I tried it once and I liked the sport. So when I first tried it, I actually just bought a GT Aggressor Pro without really knowing much about the whole sport. So let me show you what I started with, right? So this is a GT Aggressor Pro, the 2019 version, if I'm not mistaken. So right away, as you can see, this is a 3x drivetrain, right? Meaning that there's a 3 chain rings right there. So we got 1, 2, and 3. This is actually a 3x7, and it does not have a through axle, and we'll go into that here in a minute. This is your derailleur. This is your cassette. These are called cogs, right? Obviously your chain. So this is a triple triangle design. So we got the triangle here, we got the triangle here, and the full triangle here. This is your bottom bracket, your bottom tube, your top tube, front suspension, your spokes. This whole thing, the rim, is called the wheel, right? And obviously the tires. And this suspension is actually a coil suspension. It got a preload, so you can make the suspension stiffer, meaning when you push, it won't go down as easy and it'll come back harder. Or you can soften it up where it'll go down slowly and come back slowly, okay? Our brakes, our levers, right? These are our shifters. This is our rear shifter. This is our front shifter. Our rotors. Our calipers. These are our calipers. And our brake pads are in there. In here are our brake pads. Here's cable. Cable housing. Crank arms. Pedals, rotor, caliper, cable, housing. Like I said, this video is for beginners and to inspire people that are interested in getting a bike and want to know what they're getting into. Coming up to my newest bike. This is the 2020 Intense Primer. Another thing I forgot to mention, this is aluminum. If you want to save a little bit of money on a frame, this is the aluminum frame. So on my upgrade, I actually went with the carbon. Also, this is a hardtail, meaning there's front suspension and no shock in the back. A rigid would be no suspension and no shock in the back. Then we got our hardtail, suspension in the front, no shock, and we got a full suspension, suspension in the back, and a shock in the rear. Okay, so let's get into this one. So here we got a 1x drivetrain system. As you can see, the other one had 3 chain rings. This one's got one wheel right here, 1 cog. So that's a 1x drivetrain. And this one's a 1x12. So if you see something that says 1x10, 1x11, 1x12, what their meaning is 1x12. So right here I got 12 cogs on my cassette. So this is a 1x12 system. So right here we got our derailleur, this part right here, derailleur cage, And we got the derailleur hanger. So this is actually a good thing. As you can see, if you crash and you don't have a derailleur hanger, it'll actually bend your frame. But if you crash with the derailleur hanger, you get into an accident and it'll just bend the hanger and not your actual frame, which is a good thing, right? So this is a through axle right here. So the other one has a spindle with the quick release. This one does not. This one actually you torque down. This right here is a rear triangle with the chain guard. This is just so when you're jumping around and playing out there in the trails and stuff, the chain has a tendency of hitting this and that. We got the pedals, right? Then we got the crank arms. We got the bottom bracket right here. Then we got the front triangle, which is all of this. We got the rear shock. We got the front suspension. And when it comes to the shock and the suspension, so this is a rebound. Obviously you see that it says fast and slow. The faster you turn it, the quicker it's going to do this. It's going to go through the travel. It'll go down and come back quick. If you put it slow, it'll come down and come back slow. Also with this one, this shock has the rebound down here, the same knob, slow and fast, right? Then right here we got the adjustment. So if I'm riding, say, on a fire road or something, I can lock it out. This is called the lockout. As you can see, it's on firm. If I push my handlebars down, it won't go in. If I put it on the middle, it'll have some squish, but not all the way through, right? And if I open it all the way, fully open, which is what you want to do if you're hitting the trails, it'll allow the suspension to go up and down smoothly and all the way through, right? So you want to ride out open. The spokes, right? A front through axle. We got the tires. We got the rotors, right? This is actually a hydraulic setup. I believe the other one was a mechanical. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So we got the caliper. We got the brake pads in there. Housing. Okay. So with the 1x system, the other one you have a shifter on both sides of the handlebars. With the 1x, this is just to go down and up, or vice versa. I'm not on the bike right now, but so down and up. So both shifters change the derailleur on the cogs back here. So it's either going to go down or up. And the good thing about the 1x system is you have both knobs on the same part of the handlebars, right? Then you have a dropper post. If you're going to get into mountain biking, let me make a huge suggestion. Grab a dropper post. If you're riding with buddies that have dropper posts and you don't, it's not the funnest thing, man, because they're riding up with their seat all the way up, and when they're getting ready to drop into a trail, you got to stop and put your seat down and everything. It's just not as fun, man, to be honest. It's time consuming, and when we're out there, we're just trying to have fun. So a dropper post, and this is a dropper post right here. So the housing goes through into the frame. This is called internal housing. External housing, right? So it goes on the outside. Common sense, right? But external and internal routing. Okay, so this is a dropper. As I'm going to hit this lever, when you're riding up a mountain, you want to ride in the up position, and that allows you to climb up hills without as much of a struggle. A struggle, yes, but not as much of a struggle. And when you're fixing to drop in, all you have to do is hit the lever again. I can't do it now because I'm recording, but you hit the lever. I'll put it with my elbow. So hold the lever, push the weight down. I did it with my elbow, and boom, you're ready to drop right in. So now let's talk about the upgrades that I have made to this bike thus far. So this one came with the OEM Maxxis tires. And I was told by the bicycle shop, you know their OEM tires when the Maxxis lettering is white. So yellow, white. Okay, tubeless ready, right? That means you don't have to put tubes in it, but you have to have a tubeless ready rim, which will have tape inside of it, so no tire sealant will go through the screws, through the spokes. So you'll have to have a tubeless ready rim and a tubeless ready tire. And know this, just because you buy your bike at the shop and it's tubeless ready does not mean, and I'll repeat that does not mean that it's tubeless set up. If you don't ask for it, they'll send you out with your tires being tubeless ready and your wheel set being tubeless ready, but not tubeless. You have to tell them that you want it tubeless. So they'll actually take out the inner tube that it comes with and put the sealant in there and make it tubeless. So just be aware of that. That way you don't walk out and you go to the trails and you're ready to ride and boom, first time out you got a flat. That's not fun. Okay, so the stock one came with a 29-inch wheel by 2.3. So 29 meaning the OD, right? Outer diameter of the rim, if I'm not mistaken. 29-inch, and you have an option of 29, 27.5, and 26. But 26 people are kind of getting away from. It's just a smaller tire. The GT is actually a 27.5, and this one is a 29. So 29-inch wheels by 2.3 in width. And this one is the Aggressor. And I made an upgrade to the Assegai, front and back. So as you can see, 29 by 2.5 in the front, 29 by 2.5 in the back. Tubeless ready. Does that mean, does it come tubeless? No, it just means that it's ready to be set up tubeless. Another thing for beginners, right? So Maxxis has a couple different setups. So they got the Max Terra and the Max Grip, meaning the strength of the rubber. So this one is a little bit more durable and it's in the back. This is a Max Terra. I want it to last longer because it's in the back, opposed to the Max Grip, right? So the Max Grip is in the front. You're trying to be able to hug the dirt pretty much, and this one is a little bit softer rubber, so it's gonna give you more grip, hence the name Max Grip. Exo Plus protection. There's 3 different levels of sidewalls. This is a sidewall. So the Exo Plus is in the middle. There's a lower one which has the thinner walls. Actually, it's Exo protection. This is the one with the thinner walls, which is the stock tires. So Exo protection, stock, thinner sidewall, which is still good, but I just wanted to have something that was allow me to be ready for the next level. And I'm not ready for next level now, but if I do get there, I want to be ready, right? So Exo and Exo Plus, I got that front and back. And also I added a volume spacer here. I'm a little bit heavier guy. I'm about the 220 range, and a volume spacer means you can put less air and have the same amount of pressure, right? So it just softens up the hit when it goes down towards the travel. This is the travel right here. This is the travel right here. So opposed to the other one that has a coil, this one has air. You remove this cap. That's tight on there right now. They actually just got it back from the shop. You remove that cap and you're able to put air in there. And this one actually has volume spacers there too. This is a Fox 34. And the reason why it's 34 is because the stanchion, this being the stanchion right here, this tube right here, or pole, whatever you want to call, that's the stanchion. It's got a OD of 34 millimeters. So 34 is a 34 millimeter stanchion. As far as in the width in circular rotation, right? This is 150 millimeter travel vertically, and the diameter is 34 millimeters. This is 140 millimeters travel. So I got the 150 in front, 140 in back. And the rear shock also has a lockout too. So that's open. If I push down, as you can see, I'm just doing it with my body right now. If I push down, it's going in. If I put it in the middle, it goes in less. And if I put it on firm, it's hardly gonna go in at all, okay? So, like I said, the volume spacers, this one had 2, now it's got 4. And I also added the crank arm boots, because I went out on a couple rides and I started scraping my crank arms. So I got the boots. These are carbon too. And that carbon's pretty strong, man. I was debating for a long time, should I get aluminum, should I get carbon? Should I get aluminum, should I get carbon? And when I went into the bike shop and I told them the spec I was looking for, the spec of the bike, I told them I wanted a 1x12 system. I wanted hydraulic brakes front and back. I told them I wanted 4 piston brakes, which is 4 meaning stronger than the 2. This bike right here has 4 piston in the front and 2 in the back. So I was happy with that. I told them I wanted a dropper post. I told them what kind of millimeter travel I was looking for. And they were like, man, we got the bike just for you. This one's a carbon one. I was all nervous, man, like, oh, I don't know about the whole carbon thing. What if it breaks? What if it cracks? I've taken a few falls on this. You can see right here, got a scratch right there, right? This stuff is pretty durable, man. And this bike and this brand came with a 5-year warranty. So if something happens, just hit them up and just hopefully they work out a deal with you and not hopefully just give you a replacement frame. You already got all the parts to it. Just throw these parts onto the new frame that they ship. Hopefully that'd be the case. But yeah, man, thank you for watching the video. And like I said, this is just for people that are trying to get into mountain biking and to not be overwhelmed by the whole anatomy of the bike, of labeling parts and identifying parts and knowing what's what. I took a lot of time trying to research, like, what's this, what's that, because I wanted to make a good choice when it came to investing. Like I said, it's an investment. You're not just gonna be like, I'm gonna go get a bike today. Like, nah, you gotta know what you're getting into if you're gonna be spending that kind of money. So hopefully this will help out anybody that's out there that's interested in getting into mountain biking and starting off with a good bike. If I knew that I liked this, honestly, I wouldn't have spent the money on the GT Aggressor, and I would have started out with a bike like this. If you know someone that has an extra mountain bike and you're wanting to get into it, give it a try. Try their bike, see if they'll loan it to you or rent it to you. Go to your local bike shop, see if they have demo bikes, meaning they'll lend you a bike or rent you a bike. In other words, you just pay for the day and go out there and ride and tell them how you feel. If it was too much or if it wasn't enough, they'll work with you. And I'll speak highly about local bike shops, man. Right there, I go in there, I tell them what I need or I tell them what I want. It's face to face. I'm old school like that. I'm not much of an online guy. I'm old school to the point, like, if I got a question, I'll ask it and I like the answer right then and there to get some honest feedback, and whatever I'm looking for, I can walk out of that store right then and there with what I wanted and my questions answered. I'm just like that. But I still got that old school feeling. I like to have a relationship with the people that I'm making purchases from. And that way they know the face, they know the name, and they know my product, meaning the bike, and they know what's wrong with it, and they can service it to my needs and answer my questions when I want them and how I want them answered. So if you're going to be making an investment, especially for your first time buying a bike, I would highly suggest you go into your local bike shop and make the purchase there, and just tell them what you're looking for, man. And just don't be afraid to ask questions. You're going to be spending a lot of money. Know what you're getting into. So yeah, man, that's pretty much the rundown for the whole bike for beginners, right? If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and hopefully this video was able to help you out. And yeah, just stay tuned to the channel and look for other content. I'm just an average guy that's inspiring people to step out of their comfort zone and try things that they hadn't tried before. Just don't be scared, right? Just give it a go and hit the like button, consider subscribing, and just check out the more content that I have. Alrighty, God bless, brothers and sisters. Thank you for your time.